Hello, I'm John Hartledge. Welcome to my channel. This episode, I've got something special for you. We're going to do a little verses. So here comes California. California, here I come. Or, if we're going to battle, dun 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 dun. And here's France. Dun 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 dee dun dun. But we're really talking origin and new world. Old world, new world. Sauvignon Blanc, the tale of two cities. Let's chat wine. You know, we all love a good battle, but this is wine. It's not about the battle. It's about origins. It's about provenance. It's about where did this style of wine come from? And it really is apples and oranges. 2,000 years. The Romans planted grapes in this area of France. The Roman soldiers, 2,000 years, 120 years of soil history in California. The real story, as I've said on past episodes, soil history, and it just roots in the ground for millennia. And here, growing season. High desert, dry conditions, Dry Creek Valley, Sonoma. There is some beautiful influence from the ocean coming from San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge. But here, soil history. Not so hot, not as long a growing season. You don't get as ripe a fruit, but that means you have great acidity and great structure. Here you got beautiful fruit, and I'm thinking because of the winemaker, we're gonna have some good acidity to actually give us some nice structure to the wine, but I know there's no oak. Definitely no oak. I think Scott Zanon here used neutral oak, so no flavor imparted. But I think in this case, no, I'm wrong. Stainless steel, all stainless steel, and that keeps everything really nice, fresh, and vibrant. But my buddy Scott Zanon from Columbus, Ohio, at ZanonZinfandel.com, coming out with a beautiful Sauvignon Blanc. So let's try them. We're gonna do this simultaneous. So one of the things I really like about this wine is the name. Entre-Deux-Mers. And you may think, oh, okay, between two, between two seas. Actually, between two tides, T-I-D-E-S, because this does not refer to mer, which is the French term for sea or ocean. This refers to mare, M-A-R-E, accent aigu, so E-E, M-A-R-E-E, mare. And mare is a tide because these are tidal rivers. So you have the western part of France, and you got the Bordeaux region. Up in the northern part of it, you have these two tidal rivers that coalesce north into the Gironde. So the Gironde actually, down into Bordeaux, breaks up into these two tidal rivers. But the Gironde dumps into the Atlantic Ocean. It's a fascinating geographical type of thing, but this whole area was influenced by the ocean. And why? Because of tidal bores. There are actually some rivers along the Atlantic coast that actually flow against their own current. So their current is flowing north into the ocean. Well, there are tidal waves that go through and up to 40 miles down these rivers, and they call them tidal bores. So strong that surfers can even surf from the ocean down these rivers. Amazing. So they start in the Gironde and it splits off into these two, the Dordogne and the Garonne River. But between those two big tidal rivers is this really amazing area that's mostly forest called the Entre-Deux-Mers. It's a really nice place, nice growing region for Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon, and Muscadel. So Muscadel is called a sweet wine. So we have here Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon. Here, 100% Sauvignon Blanc. Again, 2,000 years. 120, 150 years at the outside, okay? So really, really interested in tasting these. Now, the French wine, $11, what a value. What I always love about Entre-Deux-Mers is they have this little bit of almost creaminess, this beautiful, oh, this is fun, almost this little creaminess in the finish because of the Semillon. So the Semillon gives you almost a roundness. It smoothens out the acidity of Sauvignon Blanc. And that really is effective for this area of Bordeaux that has a cooler growing season and not as long a growing season, so you don't get as ripe. You have more acidity. You want to smooth that acidity. And I'm talking about maybe 10%, 15%. You notice the cork broke? That's not necessarily a bad thing. Corks can be dry. Part of the cork can be dry. This is not dry enough, I don't think, to ruin the wine, but some corks are new and they're fresh, and that's okay. Breaks, you just very gently get down in there, get a little pressure to get the point in there, and then you can just rescue the thing. And that's what we're going to do. Let's rescue this. Yes. Just ease that out. And then notice as I'm pulling a little bit out, I'm putting a little more of the cork down, a little more of the corkscrew back into the cork. Love rescuing corks, it's fun. Sometimes this will happen if the cork is very wet or if the cork is just a little dry midway through. Look at that. Now, let's do a little bit more. Beautiful. And we had a nice little, so we knew there was a seal. So let's smell the end of that and make sure. Neutral. Beautiful. So that's neutral. We love that. Great. And here we had the twist off, which is great. Scott decided to use the twist off because you don't need it to age. You want to have it young. Now, what I was saying was 11.5% alcohol by volume. So you think, oh my gosh, it's going to be sweet. No, not necessarily. Sauvignon Blanc from this area is nice and crisp. Here, 13.5, right in the pocket. So let's try both. Okay, together. Let's see. We're going to start with the one that's a little lighter in alcohol. Now, if this were lighter in alcohol and it were a grape that I expected to be some sweetness, I think I would try the non-sweet first. I would go dry to sweet. But in this case, I'm going to go weight by volume, lighter to heavier. Okay, so I'm going to start here. And I also think the California is going to be just loaded with fruit and beautiful, beautiful grapefruit type notes, and that nice those quince type of sweet lime kind of things. Where here, much more about texture. I think it's going to be very smooth. It's the funniest thing. I almost feel like, oh yeah, it's like an oily, limey kind of texture, but lime citrus with this oil texture. It's really cool. It's so refreshing. Definitely taste. I'm thinking of food. I want to have food with this wine, but in the best of ways. I could have this on the deck, just sitting around, but man, put a little cheese with that, with the acidity that it does have. Not sweet at all, but with a really refreshing, not tropical, just a refresher. It's kind of citrus-based kind of fruit. And I wouldn't go as dry as grapefruit. I would say a little more lime. Maybe kiwi. Really nice. And here we go. Oh, totally different. So here, the very subdued nose here, grapefruit just bangs into your face. And that's just a fun experience as it is. Almost going to New Zealand with this aromatic, but not as far. It doesn't go green. It really, it's beautiful grapefruit, pink grapefruit. Maybe there's some, maybe a little bit of tropical, but I don't think so. So nice. Wow. Beautiful acidity. Just dried it up. I was going to say that the effect is you've got a little more body to the California, and you think, oh, it's going to be sweet fruit. It's bordering on tropical. It wants to be sweet, and then it just dries up beautifully on the finish. But texture, big texture. Here's a wine that you don't need anything with this. Fabulous representation of the beautiful growing season and that long hang time, grapes on the vine for so long, beautiful sun, just wonderful, wonderful wine. Both of these, fabulous in their own right. I would start here and then I'd transition to this. So this is gonna be with appetizers by itself, getting your palate ready, and then go to a little heavier, so a little bit different than what I said, because I really did want food with this, but I still think appetizers, because there's a delicate texture to it. And oh my gosh, the body. I love them both. Love them both. It was not a battle, no contest. I'd take them both. Absolutely. $11 goes to the 16, light to heavier. It's a great transition. Origin story into the new world. You gotta love it. So sip, share, subscribe. Come back and see me again. This was fun. Let's chat wine.